I'm Websoak and I'm building the entire New York City Subway in Minecraft. In tonight's episode, we continue our journey down the IRT Broadway 7th Avenue line. Tucked away in the heart of Manhattan's historic Upper West Side, tonight we have the IRT 86th Street station, a station host to the 1 line, and one where the 2 and 3 make no small show of their presence. 86th Street may yet be one of my coolest recreations yet. Officially being started over a year ago, I recently returned to this station to see it through, and with it, hope to come closer to finally completing the 1 line. This station, despite being an unassuming local station, took all of August to finish, and if not accounting for my summer final slowing things down, then it is safe to say that this station was no joke. But why? What was so difficult about this random station on the 1 line? Why did some random local station in residential Manhattan take so much work? 86th Street speaks to a larger problem in the project, that being Minecraft's blocky nature. You see, while not immediately obvious to casual riders, the station features a lengthy curve. This meant that building the station was like starting from scratch. Every previously built reusable prop, from the branching pillars in the tracks to the platform edge, were now completely useless. I was facing the same problem I dealt with at Central Park North. Everything I had built up, all the little things which saved time building straight stations, were now utterly and completely useless. You see, in Minecraft MTA, station building generally follows 3 distinct phases of construction. First, you have the shortest phase, which I call the negotiation phase. This is when I look at reference material I have of the station and compare it to street maps like Google Earth and try making sense of the exit and platform placement. During this phase, things like the length of the platform, proportions, length and depth of exits, and any compromises are decided. However, when a station has a curve, that phase can balloon in complexity as you now have to account for a curve instead of a straight or even single-angled line, like the majority of stations. Now the next problem is Phase 2. Phase 2 is the longest and most time-consuming build phase. This is when all the, in quotes, solid parts of a station are built. You know, things like the platform, wall patterns, trackways, crossbeams, lights, passageways, and even the exits. Phase 2 is often still relatively straightforward. Things like blueprints and worlds edit can often help speed things up, since most New York City subway stations have significant portions with repeating structures. However, when a curve is involved, what you're instead dealing with is a bunch of angles. Meaning, instead of the typical workload of building parts for a straight station, you're building multiple stations worth of parts. This can quickly add up depending on the severity of the angle. This is also why I made the decision to temporarily skip 103rd Street. The good news is, however, that while building 86th Street, I figured out new build methods that can help reduce angled parts build time without compromising details. As my parts building methods improved, progress rapidly sped up, and although it took an inflated amount of time, the station was eventually finished. The station, despite being curved, is probably one of the most beautiful on the map, looking good both with and without shaders on. This is probably one of my favorite Minecraft MTA builds of all time. While I did choose to leave a few less key signs out for performance reasons, I can say with confidence that this is a truly beautiful recreation. Hopefully with this newfound progress and more efficient build methods, we can take on the real boss fight that will be 72nd Street, an upcoming curved express station. Time will tell. Now, before we get on to some V-fanning, let's get a quick real-life profile and history of the station. 86th Street, despite featuring a peculiar tile pattern to say the least, was actually part of the original 28 stations opened in 1904. The station features 5 exits with an extra exit unusually found on only the downtown side. The extra exit sits independent of the main cluster, being built into a much larger building, tucked off to the side of 87th Street, just off Broadway. According to what I was able to find online, the additional exit was built by private developers in what seems to have been a zoning deal, which allowed the developers of the structure to increase their building height. The exit opened in 1986. A year prior, in 1985, the station had these strange art installations added along the primary length of both platforms, both of which begin around the exit area and continue almost all the way to the north ends of the platforms. Unfortunately, I was unable to find exact information on when the larger tile replacement took place, although it's thought to have occurred during the 50s. During this renovation, the station lost much of its original IRT mosaics and tile work. A small portion, however, does survive to this day at the southern end of both platforms. One of my favorite features about this station is that it features a subtle but noticeable set of ramps on the express tracks. The station also, perhaps if by coincidence or some outside force or maybe even interference, ranks as the 86th most used station in the subway system. That's right, 86 for 86th Street. What a strange coincidence. Alright guys, now that you've heard the build story of this recreation and learned about its history in real life, let's see the in-game station in action. And as a reminder, if you are enjoying this video, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and comment which Minecraft MTA station you are most looking forward to seeing built on the one line. Now, enjoy the V-fanning.